I feel like there's other things that I'm missing, but I can't remember them because I'm a peasant. But I will say that having a plan for your money just makes things so much easier. And I saved not only a ton of money, but I saved time. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I'm Lorianne and I'm so happy that you're here. Hopefully like the laid back and chill vibes of this video right now are immaculate. It's a rainy, dreary day here and like this just feels right, even though this is not normally how I talk to you guys, like laying down on the couch. It just feels like the right thing, especially for this video, because we're gonna be talking about money, saving money specifically, and money can kind of be a topic that's like a little triggering to some people, right? Like talking about money can be a little bit uncomfortable. Money is definitely on that list of things that you were like told growing up, like you don't talk about, you know, at like a dinner party. It was like politics, religion, money. I feel like there's other things that I'm missing, but I can't remember them because I'm a peasant. For me, in my life, I feel like I'm just kind of starting to get to a place where I'm more comfortable talking about money. And I think it's also because I realize that it's not really anything to be embarrassed about. There are a lot of people in your life who you may or may not even realize are like having money issues or similar struggles with money, and you can learn a lot from people just by talking and sharing experiences and things that you've learned. Right now we're kind of at like an interesting time in American society. If you live outside the US, I don't know what's going on where you guys are. It's probably great. Is it great? Let me know. But depending on who you talk to or what your news source is, there are some people that'll say that we are in a recession, and there are some people that will say that like this is the beginning of a recession that's coming. Now, I gotta be honest, I don't know. I don't pay that much attention to the specifics, but I can tell you what I have noticed, and that's inflation. The cost of everything is rising. Right now, eggs are like a fairly normal price. In December, I do a lot of baking, and I bought a 30 pack of eggs to kind of go through for us to eat and for us to bake with. And I buy that 30 pack of eggs all the time, and I never even blink at the cost typically. But this past December when I bought them, it cost me $15. And I remember being like, is somebody insane? $15 for eggs? That's crazy. Eggs used to be one of the cheapest things that you could eat. And so right now it just is what it is. No matter how much money you're making, you're feeling the effects of inflation. And we're all looking for ways to make our money go further or save money. You know, the money that we'd have left over after paying all of our bills and utilities and, you know, things like groceries and all of that stuff. We're finding that we have less of it because the cost of everything has gone up so much. You don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. And if you're not living paycheck to paycheck, you don't ever want to feel like that cushion that you've always kind of had for yourself is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That was a really long-winded way to introduce today's video, which is just 5 ways that our family of 4 saves money in this crazy time of inflation. First things first, if you don't have a budget, you need to put together a budget as well as track your monthly expenses. Now there are all kinds of apps and programs online that'll help you figure out how to put together a budget. There are apps that you can link to your debit or credit card that will track your spending, and then at the end of the month it'll categorize it as far as like, oh, you spent X amount on food related purchases or shopping or like whatever. I personally don't use any of those things. I use a Google document. I put together our budget on there so that I can kind of move things around from month to month. It just makes it really easy for me. And then with the built-in math, it calculates things and adds and subtracts things the way I like to do it. And so that system works really well for me for budgeting. For tracking my spending, I have another tab on that same Google kind of budget spreadsheet that I use where I will just kind of fill in my expenses at the end of every day. I just put the date, where I shopped, a little synopsis of what I purchased, because you forget. And sometimes I want to know if the Target purchase was justified. Like I ran in and I legitimately needed, you know, deodorant, toothpaste, and, you know, toilet paper, versus I went in for paper towels and I walked out with, you know, 3 pairs of shoes for the kids, like that kind of thing. And then of course, very important, I put how much the purchase cost me. I tend to highlight my row of cells a color depending on what like spending category it falls under, like frivolous shopping, groceries, gas, like things like that, just so that I could look at the sheet in a glance and be like, there's a lot of green on there, which means we, you know, got way too much takeout this month. Like I don't even need to do the math. I can look at it and tell you we got too much takeout this month. But the reason I think it's so important to have a household or family budget and track your expenses is because a lot of the times if you don't have a plan for your money, it just goes and you don't even know what you spent it on. So that's where the expense tracker comes in. And I am one of those people. If I don't have a plan for every dollar that's coming in, those dollars are going out and I don't know where they're going. And at the end of the month when I'm like, wait, where's all of our money? I can't tell you. So keeping track of a budget has been really helpful. I do ours based on our paychecks. So we each get paid bi-weekly. So that's 2 times a month. So every like 2 weeks I sit down and I do the budget. I allocate the money for the bills. I allocate the money for like the necessary expenses like groceries, dog food, diapers, like things like that. And then I have like a whole category for it's like my sinking fund. So I've got like the emergency fund there. I've got, you know, like a vacation fund or, you know, seasonal clothes for the kids. This way I don't have to dig into our money, you know, when the kids need new fall clothes or whatever. Every time we get paid, I do not contribute to every single one of those funds. It really depends how much we have left over. It really depends what's going on. If I know that a kid's birthday is coming up and I have to have a birthday party, I will, for the few weeks before that, be contributing more to that fund than maybe other funds. But I will say that having a plan for your money just makes things so much easier. I'm not always the best at it. There are times where I follow the budgets and I am planning like so strictly every 2 weeks. And then there are times where I won't budget for literally 2 months. And then I realize that all hell has broken loose with the personal finances and I kind of have to get back on top of things. So I really recommend putting together that budget and then just be better than me and stick to it. These days, we're sticking to it. Number 2 is plan out your meals and your grocery shopping. Now, this might not be new to a lot of people, but when a lot of people start meal planning, and I was this way when I very first started years ago, I would like go like, what do I feel like having this week? Or what do I feel like making for us this week? And I would, you know, pick some of my favorites and then maybe I'd go to Pinterest and I'd pick a new recipe or two. And then I would go out and shop based on, you know, the meals that I plan on making. Now, that will save you time in the sense that you don't have to try to figure out on the spot every night what you're gonna make for dinner. And it may save you from spending money on takeout because you already have the stuff for those meals at home. Where it's not gonna save you money is the cost of buying all the ingredients for these different meals. So the most cost-effective way to plan out your meals is actually to shop your fridge, freezer, pantry beforehand. So I will go through all of our kitchen and I will say, I've got a box of pasta, a jar of spaghetti sauce, and some Parmesan cheese. If I buy a package of ground beef, I can make meatballs or a meat sauce, and that's dinner for 1 or 2 nights, depending on what's going on with our family. In that situation, all I have to do is buy a pack of ground beef, ground turkey, sausage, whatever, and I've got 1 dinner and I only needed to buy 1 ingredient for it because I treat seasonings as like things that you pretty much have stocked in your pantry all the time. Sometimes you run out, you gotta re-up, but for the most part, you got your onion powder, your garlic powder, your salt, your pepper, whatever. If I look in the freezer and I have a pack of chicken thighs and I have half a bottle of barbecue sauce in the fridge, okay, barbecue chicken. I've got frozen steamed bad string beans. I can make a mashed potato with this. I have butter and, you know, milk. I just need to buy, you know, 5-pound bag of potatoes. Putting meals together that way helps save on ingredients. Are you eating the things that you most love to eat every week? No, maybe not. But again, we make sacrifices when the goal is to save money. You're still eating good. You can still eat healthy that way. You don't have to be, you know, eating ramen every night because it's like the cheapest thing that you can buy. You're just eating good in a more cost-effective way. Number 3 is to compare prices at your grocery stores and figure out where it's the cheapest to do your shopping. Now, this might work out for you the way it worked out for me, where I switched all of my grocery shopping to 1 store. I live in the Northeast. I am literally like 5 to 10 minutes away from 3 different ShopRites. I have always been a ShopRite girl. However, when the price of groceries went up as high as they did, I was finding it hard to do grocery shopping for our family of 4. Mind you, 2 of the 4 are little tiny people who don't eat a lot of food. I was finding it near impossible to do our groceries for like less than $200 a week. I grocery shop weekly and there was just no way that I could wrap my head around spending $800 a month on groceries for 2 adults and 2 toddlers. And at that point I had really tried everything. Like there were very few things that I bought, you know, name brand of. I had pretty much started shopping the store's, you know, brand like entirely, but it got to the point where even that wasn't saving me that much money. And so I did a little price comparison. One day I just had to pick up a few things, not a whole grocery trip, and I stopped into an Aldi because I always hear people talking about how amazing Aldi is. I think everything when it was all rang up cost me like $23. And then when I got home, I went on the ShopRite, like shop from home website, and I put the same kind of items in my cart, and my cart was easily, I want to say, $11 or $12 more for the same items, same amount. And I remember thinking, that's absolutely crazy. And the next time I go grocery shopping, I'm gonna go to Aldi. And I did. And I saved not only a ton of money, but I saved time, because the Aldi grocery store by me is like a fraction of the size of the ShopRite. Do you shopping and walk through the whole thing takes literally 30 minutes, whereas I would be at ShopRite for an hour and change between shopping and trying to check out. Now at Aldi, my expensive grocery list, like let's say I need a lot of meat or something like that when I shop, even that's probably only like $135 on a day where I need a lot of stuff. Typically, I can keep my groceries under $120. So from spending anywhere from $180 to $200 a week to spending anywhere from $100 to $125 a week, day and night. I'll take it. Now in your case, when you do the price comparison of the grocery stores, you might find that it's cheaper to buy your produce here, but it's cheaper to buy your meat, you know, more in bulk at Costco, and, you know, maybe you like XYZ for their selection of, I don't know, maybe you have a special dietary need, like you're gluten intolerant or something like that. You might find that you have to do your shopping in a few different places. As long as they're not so far apart that you're like using gas to the point where it cancels out the savings, you might have to shop in 3 different places. Hopefully 1 or 2 of those places has, you know, item pickup for no extra cost, so that you can maybe save yourself some time there, because I am aware time is money too in the same extent. Also love Aldi because Instacart shopping there is only $1.99, whereas when I would do grocery pickup at Target, it was $5.99. So even saving money there while not having to actually shop for the groceries myself. Now, number 4 kind of piggybacks off of like what I was just talking about there at the tail end of number 3, which is avoid stores at all costs. If you can, use a pickup service. And to take that one step further, a drive-up pickup service is even best. Like if you don't have to step foot in the store, don't do it. Especially if you're like me and you're a natural born spender, you enjoy shopping. I always said there was like very few things in this world that I don't enjoy shopping for. And at different points in my life, that's been problematic. What I do these days is I just avoid going in stores whenever I can. One of my biggest triggers is Target. And I know that's a trigger for a lot of us suburban ladies. I'm not alone in this. It's something about the store. It's something about the fact that there's the Starbucks in there and the way everything is laid out. Like you take the main path in the store, which of course leads you past the shoes and the women's clothes. And then it's like it's set up for us to fail. It really is. And as somebody who studied fashion business in school, fashion merchandising, I can tell you that there are people who are trained in the psychology of shopping and how our brains work when we're shopping, and they are paid a lot of money to design layouts of stores that keep people spending. It's a job. Somebody's got to do it. And the people that do it for Target are incredibly effective. For me, that's a trigger. So I try not to go inside a Target more than once a month. I know. For somebody who used to go every single weekend, once a month now I allow myself to go in the Target. But honestly, Target pickup is so convenient. I just hop on the app, I figure out what it is that I need, I throw it in the cart, I pay for it, I get the text, I drive up, or Mike drives up, whatever, they put it in the trunk and I go on my way. And I'm not tempted to buy things that I don't need because I'm not looking at all of that, right? I'm only searching the things that I need on the app. So that's been incredibly effective. Also helps with groceries. You know, you go, you're a little hungry, you're like, oh, these chips look good, and like, oh, these cookies. Oh, and don't go with kids because they want absolutely everything. When you're doing it online or on an app, you're only, again, typing in the things that you know that you need, and it just makes it a lot easier to spend less in the stores. So as long as it's not costing you a lot extra, like Target's a good one to use it on because they don't charge a fee. I don't think Walmart does either. Don't go. Do shop online pickup whenever you can. So number 5 comes after you kind of tracked your, you know, purchases and where you've been spending your money, and taking a look at the categories that you're spending your money on and how much approximately every month you're spending in those categories, and try to find ways to shrink that spending down. If it's, you know, entertainment, if you look at all of your subscriptions to different entertainment, Are you paying for Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon, Apple TV, HBO, Stars? Like, are you paying for all of these things? Take a look at what you watch the most of. And can we cancel some subscriptions? Or maybe you only activate subscriptions as you need them. For example, I have a friend who loves a few, not all of them, a few of the Real Housewives, you know, franchises. I love them. I have Bravo because I pay for Hulu like live streaming, but she doesn't have Hulu live streaming. What she does is right after a season finishes, for example, New Jersey just finished, The Real Housewives of New Jersey, she purchased a month subscription to Peacock and binge watched the whole season and set her subscription to cancel at the end of the month. So she only subscribes to Peacock when she's going to watch a season. She waits for the whole season to pass. Sure, is she a little late on things? Yeah, but sacrifices can be made so that she's not paying for it all the time and not using it because there's only a few of the franchises that she likes to watch anyway. I think that's really great. Maybe only allow yourself to be subscribed to 2 or 3, you know, streaming services at a time depending on what your budget can handle so that you're not overspending in that category. One of the things that I looked at was kind of like my beauty spending category. And I was like, I really am enjoying getting my nails done every 2 weeks. It was like 1 or 1.5 hours like every other Saturday morning that I got to myself, and I loved it. And even though it was pricey when I started, probably about 10 months into going, inflation, and they increased their prices, and so the prices went up, and all of a sudden, like, what was pricey before got really pricey. Plus then I tipped 20% on top of the new more expensive cost, and next thing you know, my bi-weekly, you know, fills and manicures or fills and pedicures were costing me over $100 and something. So I had them removed. I gave my natural nails some time to recover and heal. And then what I did was I went to Amazon. I bought like a gel polish kit. I bought the little nail Dremel. I bought a little UV light. And I think all in all, the supplies that I bought cost me like $40 or $45 or something like that. And now I have a full on kit to do my nails. I can even, you know, glue on nails and then do like a gel manicure on top. And they last me 2 weeks when I do that. Sometimes a little bit longer if I like take care of them really well when I'm wearing them. Does it take me a little bit of time to do it? Yeah, it definitely takes me a little over an hour to do, but they look great. It doesn't cost me anything to do them at this point because you buy the supplies one time and I can still get my me time. I just lock myself in the office and, you know, pretend that I'm not here. Also, I reduced my beauty spending by doing my own hair. No, not everybody feels comfortable dyeing their hair. I had a friend who did cosmetology in high school and she taught me how to like mix color, and everything else I've learned by like Googling and watching YouTube videos, and that's how I do it. So now I color my own hair and I only go to a salon when I need a trim, which is probably like every 6 months I do that. So by cutting, getting my nails done every 2 weeks and my hair done every 8 weeks, I've stopped us from spending quite a bit of money. So these are just kind of 5 like starter ways that you can start saving some money. There's definitely more things that you can do. You can definitely dive a lot deeper into this. But I just kind of wanted to give like a jump off point as to where we started when we really were looking at how we're gonna make this money go further, how are we gonna have more money to put away in a time where the prices just are constantly creeping up on us. I know this video is like a little different for my channel, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you can leave this video a thumbs up. You can leave me any questions or comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not already for more videos in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.